Hello, Andy Graham of Digital Nomad Traveler. I wanted to talk today about living abroad and the IT departments or the information technology departments of large corporations. I'm actually amazed sometimes how difficult it is for a person working in a large corporation to communicate with the world. I had this guy, Leighton Cook, that worked for Pepsi one time. He was in charge of facilities thing. He banged his big fist down. He was a pro football player, and he was in charge of 2,000 plus facilities worldwide for Frito-Lay. And I was working for him, flying around the world, the United States, fixing distribution centers. But he banged his fist on the ground and he says, "Communication, communication, communication," and how to communicate effectively with people around the world and how to create relationships. Okay, what happens for the IT department, and this is what I want to talk about. First learned this, I was writing this girl in Houston that worked for Marathon Oil, woman, and the emails were blocked. And I don't know what happened. Somehow we contacted each other, and I realized that when she wrote me an email, it came through to me. I had to enter it into my address thing and then reply back. I could never just add an email into the line. So when I set up an email, first I do is I write an email, hope it goes through, then when they reply back, then I add it in exactly the way it came to me so that we create this correct thing, because their email has a certain name on it, and I want to have the exact same name so everything goes through exactly. But what brought this up today for me was we had a person that was writing us a application for a proofreader, and we have this private message system that doesn't reveal my email address. Now, there's pros and cons there. I mean, I can block people and I can do stuff, but generally we want to start out slow, and then we want to build into a situation where we can become friends and we can exchange email addresses. I don't want to instantly get into this thing where somebody that wants a job is not. I'm not worried about this man at all, because I read his application online. We have an online application for proofreaders. I read it. He sounds like a good guy, so I'm not really worried about him. But in the same sense, I wanted to test our system, and I sit there and I go, I'm worried, because what has to happen in a company is we have to have like executive secretaries or people. A lot of times, I think their wife is their secretary, and they monitor who gets to their husband. Okay, now the problem is that you can't have any one human or machine or information technology department screen your calls effectively 100% of the time. So what I want to know, if you move abroad, the first time I really was angry at this, I was trying to write my Thai girlfriend in Thailand using my Yahoo account, and it didn't go through. There's just no way to write from Kenya to Thailand. Somebody in the ID department somewhere along the line blocked it, so I had to get on my Gmail account and write them. Okay. I also was kind of laughing. I stopped at Warren Buffett's office in Omaha and tried to say hello. Okay, what I got was a series of no's, 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 and really absolute contempt before consideration. Now, you'd think a guy that's a billionaire would have some more sophisticated way of separating things instead of just no. I thought that maybe if I was him, I would have everybody be filling out an application form of some form, trying to say that we would like to talk to you. And then, I mean, the guy could have the $1 million idea, and he just pissed it away, right? The goal is that you never know who's intelligent, right? And so what we're trying to do is set up a system. And in a lot of ways, I consider the IT department insanely technical, insanely thing. All they really want to do is stop complaints. So what they'll do, especially in the use of emails, okay, is they'll actually shut off a whole country. Say the whole country of Libya can't write, or say they got a lot of spammers from Nigeria, and they'll shut it all off. And now what's strange is say the Pepsi-Cola plant is sort of trying to open up something in Liberia, and they can't figure out why they didn't get through. Now, this is not the way to do things. All countries should be able to email all countries, okay? Because especially in a large corporation. But on the other side is that the techies just getting massive complaints from people on things, and so they shut off a whole country because they want a simple solution to a complex problem. And truly, it's never that simple. Okay, if I get an email that was from George at hobotraveler.com, I try to ask them, do you have an email like George at gmail.com? Because I won't hardly even communicate with a company email address because I know they're not going to work. And they end. Okay, so normally a person has a Gmail or a Yahoo account or some other free email. Even Hotmail is better, because if I see the domain on the end of it, I know that probably this person is going to stop paying for his domain in a couple years because he didn't make any money, and that email is going to break. So I try to bleed them. Don't you have a Gmail? Don't you have? Because they normally have one of these free accounts that they use as their primary, and really their secondary is just trying to look as a professional. But when you have the ability for a local hosting company to monitor emails and stop things, they'll stop all the Korean emails. They'll stop all the. I remember Carl was saying, he says, kids with scripts, or Korean kids with scripts, because what happens is they get spammed till they just shut them off. Andrew told me the other day he shut off Côte d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, from being able to. Right, we have a website in Ivory Coast, so anybody in Ivory Coast right now cannot work on the website about Grand Bassam. And I go, well, this is not what we want. And I mean, the thing is that the IT department is smarter than the executive, and the executive really don't understand sometimes how this works. Okay, in a way, I think what I'm going to do is create a system where emails come to 2 separate emails. And that way I'm going to have my Gmail work and my thing, and everything forwards to my Gmail to my Yahoo. My primary email address is a Yahoo account, and it's been that way for 12 years. I'm not going to change it. I don't change my address unless I have no choice. American Express used to give me an email address called USA.net or something like that. Guess what? They stopped it. An email address for life with American Express so I could travel the planet. Guess what? They decided one day it wasn't making money, and I was in trouble. I couldn't use it anymore. I had to change to Yahoo. I really recommend you use a Yahoo or Gmail account and stay with what you think or hope will be things. But truly, an executive is about communication. And reviewing all the emails constantly. One of my friends, Steve, was in Dubai, and he wanted to know if his Skype thing would work with me in Dubai, because Dubai was blocking Skype. So he was trying to use, I don't know, maybe he was using Yahoo Talk or whatever. They got 2 or 3 different voice over internet providers, but you constantly got to be monitoring your IT department, because if you're in a small company, they're not as good as a big company. They don't deal with as many problems, and they may just block the whole continent of Africa. And then you find out you're trying to do business with Africa, right? Generally, fortunately, most Americans are staying American, and they don't do it. I tried to attach I was trying to send a person here an attachment using my Foxmail email client, and to a person here in Guatemala. It won't go through. It will go through sometimes to this guy. So I'm sending from here to thing, but there's a relay, right? And this relay blocks it because it's a POP or SM, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Really interesting. And then so what I had to do is get on Yahoo directly and attach the thing and send it that way, and it would go through. So I want to just attach it through my email client and upload the emails and send it, right? Didn't work. You never know on these things. You really got to be real careful. You're sending sometimes to a black hole. if a person's not replying all the time, like I always reply to all emails that are priority because I just want to let them know the email got through. And I'm looking for communication skills. You write me, I write you. You write me, you write you. If a person don't do that, they can't be location independent. They can't be a digital nomad because they don't understand that there's no way to guarantee that email got through unless the person got a reply, right? So once the system of you wrote me, I reply, reply. I always change the subject line because I want them to know that I write to the name of the person, so I like George from Andy Graham, and I change it. Then I'll say the subject after I do it because I want him to see that I'm personally writing him, and I can separate it from all the other thousands of emails we get. I get probably, I don't know, 20, 30 spam a day, and I have to always check the spam box. Unfortunately, it requires that I read really fast, and I'm starting to realize that a lot of people can't read as fast as me, and that's one of the problems. But bottom line is, try to make double redundant systems where maybe you get an email from 2 different sources at the same time. So like if they're writing you, maybe they're going to your Gmail and your Yahoo, or they're converging into one. But make sure there's 2 paths to get there, because you never know which techie at the IT department's blocking your emails. Very difficult stuff, but at the end of the day, Leighton was right. It's communication, communication, communication. That is business. Okay, opening up a relationship and maintaining it. Okay, and if you can't do that, it's very difficult to be a digital nomad. Okay, Andy Graham, digitalnomadtraveler.com.